Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cherry and Timber Talk. Wishing Sachin Tendulkar, India's finest, and one of the greatest cricketers of all time, a very, very happy birthday. It was about this time last year, Mahesh, that we started the show, and a second episode was dedicated to Sachin. And we know what happened after that. It was a historical moment for us as well to get a comment from him on our video. So, really, really pleased to be back on the show on the same date again. And extremely pleased to have two of our friends back in the studio, Yashaswee and Sidharth. Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
All good, man. Charged up. And we're still living in 1998. And this was the day when he played that innings in Sharjah. Actually, two innings. A couple of days earlier, that was the Desert Storm innings, which is still fresh in our memories. A pivotal moment in his career. And, in all Sachin fans' memories, that will be, lasting for a lifetime, right? All right. So why not give the youngster a go? Let's start with Yashasvi. Let's ask him what was his favorite and earliest memory of Sachin, the player, and how did he follow him, and what did you think about him as a player? Now that you've seen what Dhoni, Virat, and all the others are doing.
I wasn't born when Sachin played that blinder in 1998. I was born 28 days later after that Desert Storm. But definitely, Sachin has been an idol growing up, hearing a lot of stories from parents, family, friends. He's someone who has taken the burden of Indian cricket on his shoulders. And definitely, there are two to three memories which stand out. Being the
Yep.
2003 World Cup, Pakistan, the Shoaib Akhtar uppercut, definitely one of those favorite shots, favorite memories. And one memory which stands out for me is the 200 against South Africa, the first one day double hundred. That will always
Gwalior.
stand out for me. Yeah, Gwalior. Yes, we were leading 1-0. We had won a crunch game at Jaipur, coming to Gwalior, winning there. But that was 100%. One of my favorite memories.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
definitely
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
2011. Yeah, that was a dream.
Yeah. On that Gwalior innings, I still remember. My cousin was getting married on that day, and we were in the marriage hall, and somehow somebody managed to sneak in a small television somewhere, and everybody started going there and watching the game. And it was like everybody was taking their focus away from the marriage, and there was a huge crowd gathering in the corner, and then they realized, okay, there is something historical happening which cannot be missed. All right, Siddharth, what's your memory, man?
Yeah, I first of all, before I tell my Sachin's favorite memory, congratulations to all of you, on Cherry and Timber Talk's first anniversary. And
Thank
I
you.
really hope, we get to see a lot more episodes and a lot more, guests who share their opinions. So my
Thank
first
you.
memory of Sachin Tendulkar was the 1999 World Cup, the India versus Kenya game in which he scored 100. And I think it was a pretty emotional knock because he had just, arrived to England after the death of his father. So I,
Yes.
remember watching that game with my brother, and I was around 6 or 7 years old. And I think he hit a shot towards the offside, and I remember telling my brother that, "Oh, yaar, ye kya sahi khelta hai." And it was just,
Mm,
about that early perceptions that you have of
mm,
a player.
mm.
Because वहीं से ही फिर I think from there on only it was all about that whenever India used to play, be
Yep.
it any of the opposition. And
Yep.
at that time, we had no cable TV at our home. So whenever there was this immediate live broadcast of any India match without any prior notification, so everyone used to say this thing कि okay अब तो छोटू खेलेगा अब तो सच्चू खेलेगा as if Sachin Tendulkar was a part of the Gulati family. People used to put their names there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think there have been quite a few memories apart from the and as I talk about the knocks, I think
Mm.
of course the first one that really stands out for me was the Kenya game only in the 1999 World Cup, and then
Yes.
after that the 2003 World Cup, the game against Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and a couple of other knocks, and
Yep.
then as I stretch towards the late 2000s, I think the Chennai game against England in which we chased around 387.
Yep.
His I think 160 or 170 odd partnership with Yuvraj Singh, that
Yep.
partnership and his 100 was really really special. That really I would say I was really emotional after seeing that game because at one point I never really thought that India are going to seal the deal there. But yeah, it was his heroics that helped India get over the line. And yeah,
Hmm.
after that, there's also one more knock in which India might not have, won that game, but I think it's
Yep.
175 against Australia.
Hyderabad. Yep.
In
Yes,
that ODI,
Hyderabad.
that was really good. That
Yep.
was really
Yep.
good. And one more knock that I remember. I think I was around once again 7 or 8 years old. It was that India New Zealand game in Hyderabad 1999, in which he scored around 186.
186. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
ODI series which was played in white. So yeah, many of his good memories, and I think in for me and for people in my family, it was just whenever India used to play, it was just about ki aaj to Sachu khelega. So yeah, it
Hmm.
there are quite a few things.
Yes, we have got a lot of fans, man.
There's only one guy who is a big fan of me, it seems.
Yeah, I think an interesting point to that which you mentioned, those days, and I mean, kids watching now, we have YouTube, we have live streaming, we have apps, we have everything, we have Hotstar.
Yeah,
Those days it was all about यार घर पे किसके घर पे cable लगा हुआ है, right? So
correct,
it was about finding that one home where everybody could sit together, Mahesh, right? Those were the days when cricket used to unite all families in the neighborhood
yes,
together, and we used
yes,
to wait, for that specific time to watch the highlights also, right? We didn't have YouTube
correct,
at
correct,
that point in time.
correct, correct, correct.
How
Correct.
time
Yes,
has changed and
definitely.
evolved, Mahesh.
Yeah, the coverage. Look at the coverage. I mean, look at Sachin's first series in Pakistan. I mean,
Yep.
there were no square cameras, nothing of that sort. I mean, the ball was never tracked also properly by the cameraman. But going forward, maybe 8 years, 10 years, once Worldtel came into play, and then
Yep.
the satellite channels came, and then we saw that we were catching up with Australia broadcasting or South African broadcasting because we were the gap was getting bridged, right?
Yep.
And I think Sachin has lived through all that. When he started off, I'm sure the coverage have been very poor. But by the time he ended his career, which has been a very long time, I mean, almost quarter of a century, that's
Yep.
phenomenally long. So he's seen
Yep.
everything, He's seen from probably normal coverage to digital coverage to just about everything.
Yep.
Like what both of these guys said so correctly. I mean, it's first of all, it's very difficult to pinpoint one day per moment of
True.
Sachin Tendulkar. Somebody who scored 100 centuries, that 100 occasions is definitely there. Then
Yep.
imagine he's scoring the 50s and 60s and 70s. So there is a
Yep.
lot of places that and a lot of moments that we would want to talk about.
Hmm.
But there are some real special moments which I thought, unfortunately, he would not have ended on the winning side.
Yep.
The first Test match against Pakistan at Chennai, where India fell short,
Oh,
and I'm sure that the grief
Aha.
must be still there in Sachin's mind because that match was
Yeah.
ours for the taking. He got out after playing a brilliant innings,
Yep.
despite the fact that he had back spasm right through. He managed to be so close. That's
Yep.
one moment that Sachin
Yep.
would never forget or forgive his other
Yep.
players. Second, also, is the semi-finals against Sri Lanka in 1996.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is a testimony of his talent, okay, of his
Correct.
skill. Because that pitch
Correct.
was turning at the Eden Gardens, and you remember
Yes.
Sana Jayasuriya ran through our middle order and low middle order. But as long as Sachin was in the middle, he was able to play as if he's playing on a different wicket, right?
Different pitch. Yeah.
Because he had the skill. So these are
Yes.
some of the moments that he just rose up. And like
Yep.
I read somewhere, there is Sachin, then there is daylight, and then the rest of the gang follow. I mean, most Indian cricket fans would believe in that. There will be other countries who would say, no, it's not that way. Whatever, but he was right up there. I mean, if not the best ever, he was really close to that. To me, Sachin was also like what Sidharth said very correctly. Everybody believed that Sachin was part of his family. You
yes,
Yeah.
you wanted
Yeah.
Sachin to
true.
perform. You were happy if Sachin performed, and even if India lost, there was consolation that Sachin performed. I still remember
Yep.
Mark Taylor making a very interesting observation. India were beaten very badly at Melbourne, and he went back to
Yep.
the hotel and he saw a huge Indian contingent, playing
Yep.
drums and dancing. So he asked, what is this? I mean, India have lost the match. Why are you guys doing this? Sachin has scored a century. So for that meant that whenever he scored runs, it was a celebration for us. And I think
Yes.
even
Yes.
today, we love to hear him, we love to see him,
Yeah.
and apart from that, his humanity, I mean, his
Yep.
humility
Yep.
is fantastic.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant
Yes.
person.
I think that's the most important quality to have at that level, and I think for him it's incredible, right? in India, you have so much of expectations from that one single person, right? Every time he walks into bat, and we take nothing less than 100, for every innings, right? So
Correct.
so that's the kind of pressure he was going through. Imagine dealing with the outside pressure, and then being in the middle and dealing with the pressure which the opposition is applying on you, right? So I think that's why when you correctly brought out that Chennai Test match, that was one of the most fascinating Test matches I've ever seen in my life,
Yes.
honestly, especially in India, because
Yeah.
we were 5 down, and we literally gave up hopes, but then we still knew that Sachin was still there, and that 100 was quality. That was, you know, most of the hundreds that we have seen him, he had taken the attack to the opposition, and he had actually dominated. But this one, he had kind of taken his time. He assessed the situation, and he played risk-free cricket. I think that's what was very, very evident in that innings. And plus, battling that back spasm, I think that's something which, when we were watching it live, we could actually feel the pain that he was going through in the middle and in the
Correct.
heat of
Yes.
Chennai. That's like a completely different animal altogether, battling the heat of Chennai, because the energy
Yeah.
that is sapped out of you is like tremendous. And plus, if you are having back spasm, oh my god.
And the pressure was playing against Pakistan.
Pakistan,
Correct.
exactly. and
Correct.
and
Yes.
mind you guys, I mean, that Pakistan attack was comparable
Oh,
to the best attacks in the world, and I'm not
correct.
kidding. Wasim, Wakar,
Yes.
right? Sakle and Mushtaq, so all these guys were like literally on us as a rash. They
Hmm.
did not give an inch. I mean, I still remember the way Wasim, kind of set up Rahul Dravid in that inning, that the second innings. That was phenomenal. Probably one of the best
Yeah.
reverse swing bowling spells that you'll ever see, to kind of castle Rahul Dravid, that too in defense. That was something. It was amazing to watch. So that was high quality cricket, and plus, the cherry on top was the Chennai crowd, standing up and applauding
Yeah.
Pakistan. That was something, a
Correct.
pivotal moment in
Hmm.
sporting history in India. That's what I consider, because at that time tensions were rising between India and Pakistan, and to
Yeah.
do that to Pakistan, in our home soil, that was something which was amazing, and something to kind of emulate and do it again, in our lifetime, because now we are living in very strange times. So yeah. So I think that's the beauty
Correct.
of sport, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So Yashasvi, so let's get back to IPL now. I think you are a bit of a prediction guru. So
Yeah.
what's your prediction for today?
Yes. Today, I'm not a very big KKR fan. I'll be very honest. I said it pre-show as well. Maybe
Hmm.
Rajasthan and KKR both want to, both are not doing very well. They want to come back on winning ways. But if Rajasthan gets certain thing right, if their openers start doing better, then
Hmm.
they have a good chance. They have a good chance, And Sanju Samson as a leader, if he
Yep.
comes along well, then yes,
Yep.
Rajasthan have a good chance. I think there
Yep.
would be one or two changes as well. Maybe a
Hmm.
Yashaswee Jaiswal might come in for Manan Vora, because
Hmm.
I know I'm telling this because yeah, a doppelganger, same name. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
uh, I think Jaiswal might get a chance, and
Hmm.
I feel this way also. It's very harsh on someone like Karthik Tyagi being dropped. I understand
Yep.
Chetan
Yes.
Sakaria is doing fantastic.
Yep.
Jaidev Unadkat got a chance. He's doing fantastic, but yes, you feel that why isn't Tyagi
Yep.
playing?
Yep.
Somewhere or the other, he might get a chance against a team like
Hmm. Hmm.
KKR. I
Yep.
will go with Rajasthan today.
Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to be judging Sanju Samson's captaincy this early. Honestly, because it's his first
Yes.
season as captain. But again, what I feel Rajasthan's problem has been over the years is that that kind of inspirational leadership which they had with Shane Warne in the first 2 or 3 seasons, and I think that really pulled the team together. Even though they did not have superstars, so as to say, which other teams had, but at least that captaincy and that inspirational leadership, that was kind of pulling them along. So somewhere I think that needs to come back again. That magic needs to work. They've always been a team of one or two players who are big players, but then others are all
Correct.
rallying around them. But I think somewhere that is missing now, and plus losing Ben Stokes is, you can't really measure
Big
that
loss.
in terms of impact. It's a big loss, right? What's your take on that, Siddharth?
Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Vinu, because that inspirational leadership, thing
Yep.
is actually missing in the RR camp.
Yep.
Because see, with what we have seen of Sanju Samson over the years, He's a good player, he's full of talent. But the
Yep.
main problem with a player like him is consistency. He
Hmm.
gets to a 80 or 90 odd, as Gautam Gambhir also said, and
Yep.
then in the next 3-4 innings, there is I would say there are no match winning knocks, or there are
Yep.
no even
Yep.
knocks in which we can say that there have been contributions from him. So yeah, and that is where of course captaincy is also about that let's say if you're doing good in one department, it
Yep.
also rubs onto another department. Let's say
Yes.
if you're doing well in batting, it's also going to
Yep.
help you in your the confidence with which you gain in batting. It's going to help
Yep.
you in your captaincy also. So that is one thing that is missing in the R camp. And secondly,
Yep.
I think I'm a bit I would say with the with Ben Stokes injured, Jofra Archer also not available for this full season,
Hmm.
and Liam Livingston, who could
Yep.
have been, let's say, a potential all-rounder for them, let's say, had he played. He's
Yep.
also now out of the tournament, citing bio-bubble fatigue.
Yep.
I don't really fancy Ara's chances,
Hmm.
I would say, for the playoffs, because with Morris, we have seen that there is not much variety, and
Hmm.
no disrespect to him, he's a good player, but
Yep.
at the very same time, he hasn't been able to provide the impetus, or let's say the performances which the likes of Ben Stokes or Jofra Archer have provided to RR in the last couple of
Correct.
years.
Correct.
So that is, one problem that I feel is going to be with RR. Yes,
Yep.
there are reports that Rasi van der Dussen, the South African batsman,
Yep.
I
Yep.
really love him. Just to say this, I think
Hmm.
he has signed up with RR, but I think it's pretty much late because he's going to arrive in India and it's going to be a
Hmm.
7 to 8 day quarantine.
Might
So
be too late.
yeah,
Yep.
I would say I think it's going to be very difficult for RR to get to the playoffs. And I think on the
Hmm.
other hand with KKR. The team is pretty good. There are no, I would say, the 11 is, all but okay. Sometimes Harbhajan is playing, or maybe sometimes, they're
Hmm.
playing an extra fast bowler. But I'm a
Yep.
bit surprised with Noyan Morgan's captaincy, to be very honest. If,
Yes.
yes, if I have to, look at his captaincy, when he's in England colors, it's completely different. But here, I think there is, I would say, there is some kind of miscalculation related to the strategy that
Hmm.
initially you are going with the spinners, and then in the middle overs you are having mostly
Yep.
the pacers, and then Andre Russell is pretty much towards
Yep.
the he's bowling towards the end of the overs. That's fine.
Yes.
It's good to have a balanced strategy, but it's not going
Hmm.
to work with all of the teams.
Yep.
That's the main
Yep.
point here, because that is
Hmm.
where you can you saw against CSK. See, when you're playing a game, maybe at a venue like Wankhede,
Yep.
where getting initial wickets is very important, because if you do not get that, the
Yep.
opposition is more or less bound to score around 200 or 220.
Yep.
So that is where I think KKR should have attacked a lot more. And
Yep.
when they came out to bat, they were around 30 odd for 5, and then Andre Russell, Dinesh Karthik, and Pat Cummins almost did the unthinkable. Yes,
Yep.
you can say that KKR were very much on the verge of winning that game, but see, I think let's be honest, they lost the game in that
Power
first
play.
inside the power play.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there are
Yes.
quite a few things that that I would say, yes, Noyan Morgan's captaincy and the
Yep.
team, let's say and all the 11 players not clicking as a unit is something that is hurting KKR's chances. But
Yep.
yeah, my prediction today, I think to be very honest, the Wankhede pitch has played a lot of tricks this season. We've
Yeah.
seen a
Yeah.
team getting bundled out to 100, 120 yard, and we have also
Yeah.
seen some good scores. So yeah,
Yes.
a lot will depend upon the pitch here, because if there is going to be a bit, because if there's a bit of green tinge,
Yep.
then I'm sure the team which is bowling first could get
Yep.
that advantage.
Yes, I think yeah, I completely agree. Said because, and I think in a way it is good as well. Honestly, I wouldn't mind this having a different wicket for each game, because then it becomes very predictable, right? I don't want that
Yes,
win the toss and chase and then chase down the runs in market, because it's easy to chase down. It's a batting wicket, right? But then if you have this unpredictability element,
Yes.
right, then every team is on level playing ground. So I think that
yes.
ways I won't mind that. So yeah, Yashasvi, you're a bit of a crowd puller, man. Everybody's coming and commenting for you. All right,
I
Mahesh. I
don't know
think
what has happened. I think
yeah, we should
yeah, I
get you
was
for all
saying
the
some
shows,
of them
man.
are my friends. Yeah, yeah. My friends are here, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot
I
of
think
support.
we have a future politician. Now you can just raise your hand and say, "Ha, bhai hai hum."
They call me. They call me the politician. They call me the Netaji. So yeah, I won't
Yeah.
be. I won't be
Hmm.
surprised.
Yep. Yep. All right, Mahesh, I think talking about KKR's last game, I think we really need to talk about, three innings, which is obviously Russell, Karthik, and the exceptional innings by Pat Cummins. I think that was something phenomenal to watch. So unfortunate those two runouts in the end. I think those were avoidable. Honestly, I felt that they missed the trick there with the non-striker and the striker not communicating properly. I really felt that those two should have been two runs easily, right? And or at least the second one should have been the non-striker should have taken a bit of a more aggressive approach towards the towards the danger end.
So to me, that match was a very good match. But like what Sid said, I think KKR had lost in the first 5 overs. Once you're 31 for 5, you can keep playing sixes and fours, but you're playing catch-up game, right? I mean, there was no way that they would reach. Of course, they played. I mean, like what you said, Pat Cummins played out of his skin, and he did give even a cool, calm, composed Dhoni some cause to worry. But having said that, the surprise for me in this IPL has been the Chennai Super Kings. I mean, nobody gave them too much of a chance to, actually be in the top four, probably 4 games into the tournament. And I think he's led the team well. Now people are saying that he's not batting enough, which is fine. He doesn't bat. If his team is winning, I'm okay with the fact that he doesn't bat because he's got youngsters to go out and bat. He's still doing a reasonably good job. The thing with Dhoni is that using the conditions to his advantage. Remember, the moment he reached Mumbai, I mean, he's played most of his matches at the Wankhede Stadium where there was pace and bounce. Move him to a slower wicket, move him to a lower wicket. Dhoni and spinners can beat anybody. You give him a 130, 140 score, and he'll be able to defend that. So Chennai Super Kings, along with Royal Challengers Bangalore, who also won all their matches, which is also a big surprise for them, have been the two teams that have actually surprised me quite a bit. Coming back to the Kolkata Knight Riders game, right? I mean, those runouts were not needed. But like what Sidharth said, there is lack of imagination as far as Morgan's captaincy is concerned. I mean, I don't think that he's got the team. He doesn't. He lacks imagination. He lacks planning. Maybe they would have done everything, but once he comes to the ground, his moves are not right. I remember one of the matches, Varun Chakravarti picked up a few wickets and he just took him off the attack. I mean, somebody has picked up 2 wickets. You should have continued with him for some more time, right? I mean, these are strange situations. We could hindsight is probably the best way that you'll be able to plan and talk about. But the fact of the matter is, I think he's struggling as a captain. Dinesh Karthik struggled as a captain. Morgan is struggling as a captain. So KKR, there is some problem with KKR. I don't know what is the problem. The only captain who's actually done extremely well for the Kolkata Knight Riders has been Gautam Gambhir. I mean, he led by example. He was a very successful captain. Before that, Saurav Ganguly was such a successful captain for India, but he took over the reins of the Kolkata Knight Riders. He just couldn't perform. I mean, there was a lot of politics or whatever you want to call it. But Gautam Gambhir was the only captain who was able to take the Kolkata Knight Riders up. So they need to do a bit of, planning and need to relook at their whole strategy, at least for this game. But I think I would like to differ with Yashaswee. My prediction is that today the Kolkata Knight Riders will win.
Interesting. Yep. I think on the topic of CSK, Mahesh, and guys, I think one interesting aspect which they have right now is the amount of all-rounders in the team. I think that is something phenomenal, right? You see Sam Curran, you see Ravindra Jadeja, now Shardul Thakur, Krishnappa Gautam, and Moeen Ali. So there are so many cricketers who are multi-dimensional, and I think that is what is kind of giving them that balance. Dwayne Bravo as well, right? So I think that's giving so many options to Dhoni, right? To pick a side, because he knows that if not him, I can replace him directly with him, right? So that's the kind of luxury that he has, which all the other teams may not have, unfortunately.
Another thing is that Shardul Thakur in one of the matches was scheduled to come at number 10 and Deepak Chahar number 11. So they didn't have a tail at all. So, I mean, that is phenomenal. I mean, then anybody can go to bat. To give credit to Chennai Super King, Moeen Ali actually contributed significantly to their success. I mean,
Yep.
coming at number 3, which we thought was Raina's position, he quickly got Moeen
Yep.
Ali, and Moeen Ali has been among runs straight away.
Exactly. Raina coming back as well. I think that's also important because
Yeah.
he is a vital cog in the wheel for CSK. All these years, he has been that one critical element, which has kind of held the team together. And Yashaswee, I think your friends want you to stand by your views, man. Come on, let's debate it out with Mahesh.
No, no, I definitely no, I will stand with him on the Chennai Super Kings part. I feel
Yep.
CSK have done extremely well, and I was very hopeful. Being a CSK fan since 2008, I
Yep.
was extremely hopeful they'll do well because with Raina coming back, there was a morale booster, and the team and Dhoni, coming back to India and him getting what he wants, the players he wants. Moeen Ali,
Mm.
I said this, even during the auctions, Moeen Ali would be a very good buy for Super Kings. And the
Yep.
way they got him, Krishnappa Gautam, okay, he's overpriced. Yes, 10 crores for Krishnappa Gautam, overpriced
Mm.
definitely, but a good replacement if something happens to Jadeja, a good replacement. Not saying
Yep.
that he is Jadeja, but yes, a good replacement. So
Yep.
definitely, CSK are doing well. And if talking about RCB, I said this last week on another show that if RCB win against KKR, they'll be unstoppable. And I feel, this might just be start of the good things. I'm not telling Isala Cup naam de. I won't say that. I won't say that. But I definitely say that this might be the start of all the good things.
Interesting. I mean, speaking of RCB, Siddharth, how good
Yeah,
was that innings by Padikkal? I mean, that was
Brilliant.
exceptional,
Brilliant
man.
innings.
Brilliant. Right? Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think RCB. I think one thing that they have got pretty much sorted this season is they're playing 11.
Yep.
And
Yep.
let's be very honest that this has been RCB's weakest link to get a proper 11 in the last few seasons. I think
Yep.
the role clarity is very much there.
Yep.
Maxwell knows what he has to do. Then Virat is opening, courtesy, I would say, that last T20I against England, that has possibly opened the doors for him.
Yep.
And then you have, I think, either Shahbaz Ahmed or maybe, I would say,
Hmm.
who is that? Rajat Patidar, coming at number
Yep.
3. So
Yep.
overall, I think the balance is very much there. They have got around 7 to 8 bowlers in the team. Dan
Yes.
Christian is also there. He can bowl
Yes.
if required. And then you have the
Yes.
likes of Mohammad Siraj. I would say he has been a revelation.
Oh,
He has
yes.
really done well. If I really just take out the wickets column, yes, he has taken those couple of wickets. But if you
Hmm.
look at his I think the penultimate over in the KKR game against Chandra Russell, it was very good. He's got
Yep.
the ball to swing also. He's bowling at a good pace. And
Yes.
I think Siraj has been a completely different bowler since the last
I,
IPL in the
I
last
think
8 to 9 months.
he's kind of become their senior bowler now. I think that's something
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
heartening to see, right? I think the Australia series and the England series has completely transformed him into a different cricketer altogether. I think that's so
Yes,
heartening to see. One more name,
absolutely.
I think, Sid, that we missed out is Harshal Patel. What a big
Oh,
surprise, right?
yes.
Yes.
In the
Yes, yes.
death,
I
Yes.
was
Yes.
coming to
you
him.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, in the death, actually, he's been an amazing bowler, right? I mean, so many variations. We never knew this side of him, right? Before this season, we knew he was a good cricketer, as decent bowler and decent batsman as well. But I think this time RCB is kind of heavily relied on him, and he's kind of
Yes.
paying off. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting. I
I
mean,
think the role clarity has to be, one of the most important factors here because,
yep,
Harshal Patel knows that, he's going to bowl, most of his over after the
yep,
10th over. And
yep,
that is where, even if, he leaks a bit of runs, it's fine. He can go for,
yep,
4 overs, 35, 36 runs.
yep,
But if he
yep,
gets those 2 or 3 wickets, with
yep,
something that, Dwayne Bravo has done for CSK over the years, I think
yep,
it's job well
Correct.
done. So this is where I think,
exactly.
yeah, overall, I would say that CSK are, sorry, RCB are very much settled. And
Yep,
I think if they really, continue to play this way, then it's
yep,
going to be. I think they can actually do wonders because they won, first 4 games. Now
yep,
it takes the pressure of them, as far as the, qualifying for playoffs is concerned. Now out
yes,
of the remaining, 10 games, they just have to win 4 or 5. Whereas if you
yes,
look at, the other teams, who are in the bottom 4, the road is
yep,
very difficult for the likes of SRH, KKR, RR, and
correct,
I think even Punjab Kings also, and even
correct.
Mumbai Indians. Initially, of course, they are struggling, but we
Yep,
know,
yep,
they are known to bounce back. So yeah,
yep,
I think RCB are in a very good,
mm,
headspace, most
yep,
importantly, and
yep,
even the points table wise, they are doing well. So yeah, I
Yes.
think we can expect good things from them this time around.
I think what is also interesting, Sid, is both RCB and CSK as well, for that matter, are doing well without any major contributions or impact done by Dhoni or a Kohli, which is kind
Correct.
of
Yeah.
interesting. Because,
Correct.
I mean, Kohli has been amongst the runs of late, but then it's not the old Kohli where, he was kind of leading the,
Yes.
team and, the batting and the scoring, right? So now he's kind of there, but there is others around him as well. I think that's something which is quite
Yes.
interesting to see.
Yes.
But
Correct.
I feel one thing, what
Yep.
good thing happened with RCB was Siraj's form
Mhm.
definitely very good.
Yep.
But
Yep.
out of the first five batsmen, four performing and big in runs.
Yep.
All four,
Yeah.
be Patkal, be Kohli, be De Villiers and Maxwell, all have scored more than 100 runs, and they have
Yes.
done the bulk of the scoring. So yes, this is one
Mm.
thing which RCB can take for be happy with.
Yeah. On that note, there's a question by Sundar. Do you feel RCB's lower middle order could be a bit of a concern if the top four are out within the first 10 overs? Not sure if they have any hard hitters and finishers there. I thought probably for a do or die game. This sounds so
I was
much
just
like
going to say that.
India's. This sounds so
Yeah, I
much
was
like
just going to tell
India,
the same thing.
in the 2019 World Cup, right? After the top order is done, there's nobody,
Yeah.
in the middle order, right? So, yeah, Ramesh, you were saying something.
No, I was actually going to say the same thing. I was going to say that winning all the
Yeah.
matches up to the playoff, and then what happens is that you have a bad day, and you have
Yeah.
that bad day on a wrong day. Okay, maybe
Yep.
a qualifier or an eliminator, and you go out of the tournament. Fact of the matter
Yep.
is what our viewer very rightly said
Yep.
is that the lower have not even been tested
Yep.
because they win so comprehensively. We don't know what kind of form the lower middle order or whatever you want to call
Correct.
tail or whatever. We have no idea, right? So
Correct.
it makes a lot of sense at times that you lose the
Yep.
top order or you actually get the lower order to come out and bat. So
Yep.
give them a little bit of match practice so that in
Yes.
case of a crisis, they are able to stand up and deliver. Now,
Yes.
that is as far as RCB is concerned. I don't think Kohli or anybody would be complaining the way they're winning. Okay.
Yep.
Right now, they're in a very happy space. Very 4 out of 4. They're very confident. I think the induction of Glenn Maxwell has actually done them a world of good. I remember in the
Yes.
auction, I think I tweeted just before the auction that I believe that Maxwell will be picked up by Chennai Super King because he plays very well in yellow.
In yellow.
And actually, Chennai Super Kings were going all out.
They were bidding for him. Yeah. Yep.
They bid for him, in a very aggressively.
Yeah.
But finally into
Yeah.
RCB, and he seems to be in good nick for RCB, and he's doing well.
Mm.
But
Mm.
AB de Villiers, we need to speak about AB de Villiers. He is a
Yep.
freak. He comes, doesn't play cricket for 12 months, no problem, comes, picks up the bat, and plays
Yep.
bowlers like Bumrah with so much of ease. The guy is
Yes.
phenomenal. It's so nice to hear that he's going to play the T20 World Cup.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm looking forward to that. If that happens, honestly, cricket South Africa is under a lot of turmoil of late. And I really
Right.
hope that those issues are resolved because we need a strong South Africa back in contention. They've been a really good side all these years, right? They're always top 4 contenders in the World Cups. And, I really hope that the situation is resolved and we see a strong South African team back in the fray.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. So, and plus ABD being back at the international stage, that was so sad what happened a couple of years back. And I really hope that issue is resolved internally
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So that's about time for today. That's the end of today's Yashaswee Raman show. You can contact him on being YRK13 at Twitter. I don't have his email address, but I'll send it out to you. So thank you everybody for joining. Looking forward to some interesting contests today. Let's see whose prediction comes out. We'll announce it. We'll announce the winners. Whoever gets the prediction right, they will have a coffee with Yashaswee pretty soon.
That would be a good idea. Yes.
All right.
Be a very-
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.